Good evening. This is the Lower Saucon Township Council meeting on May 20th, 2026. It is now 6:38 p.m. Can I have a call of information items from our solicitor, please?
Yes. With regard to the meeting that's being held tonight, it is being recorded, it is being broadcast on YouTube, and there are a resolution as number 75-2022 outlining the status and the process of the public hearings. So everyone here should be aware that you are being recorded. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can I have a roll call, please?
Ms. Ray? Here. Mr. Grass?
Here.
Mr. Heimbecker?
Here.
Ms. Optoff-Cordero?
Here.
Ms. De Leon? Here. Also present is myself, Stacy Werkheiser, Secretary, our Solicitor, Mr. Gazouzian, our Township Engineer, Mr. Cucker, our Zoning Officer, Tyler Mitch, and the Chief of Police is also present with several of our officers.
Thank you very much. Before we do our Pledge of Allegiance, I did want to take a moment of silence. If we could all please recognize our longtime zoning solicitor, Attorney George Heitzman, has passed away. And so he passed away on Monday, May 4th, 2026. George was appointed to the Township's Zoning Hearing Board solicitor on January 6th, 1976, and has served the residents of Lower Saucon for more than 50 years. So I would like to just have a moment of silence to recognize his passing. Thank you very much. Can everybody please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Can we please have an announcement about executive session?
Yes. Prior to tonight's meeting, there was an executive session. There was one executive session that was held that I was not present in, but there was other counsel where there was issues with regard to real estate and litigation discussed. No official action was taken. There was a subsequent executive session where I was present along with our engineer, where again we spoke about real estate matters and litigation matters. Again, no official action was taken. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have some resolutions for our junior council people, but tonight is also a night where we would have them give a report. So do we have a junior council person's report tonight? Okay, no reports. I just wanted to double check. Public comment procedure is outside, but basically we will have a public comment period after presentations in which the public would have an opportunity to give their comments on agenda items for 3 minutes. There's also a second public comment period at the end of the council meeting, which is provided for agenda and non-agenda items. If you have any clarifications on that, please look at the resolution for further information. And now I want to turn it over to our chief because we have a number of presentations from the police department. So Chief Barnt.
Thank you, Victoria.
Would you like the microphone?
I am going to get it.
Okay. Oh, you want that one?
Test. Good. Welcome, everyone. Thank you, Council. I have the honor tonight to introduce Officer Vito Giorgi, who is going to be sworn in as the department's second detective. A little bit about Officer Giorgi. If you can come up here, Vito, please. He's a 2010 graduate of Notre Dame Green Pond, 2015 graduate of Kutztown University with a bachelor's degree in criminal justice, and proudly served with the Army National Guard from 2012 to 2019. Officer Giorgi began his career at Lower Saucon in 2016 as a part-time officer, was hired full-time in January 2022. In 2024, he filled the role of temporary detective, and in June of 2025, after testing and an interview process, he was chosen to be the department's second detective, pending the successful hiring of an officer to fill his patrol position. So tonight, we have the honor to have him sworn in. Judge Medj, please. Have you raised your right hand, please, and repeat after me. I, Vito Giorgi.
I, Vito Georgie,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, defend,
that I will support, obey, and defend,
and enforce the Constitution of the United States,
and enforce the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
the laws of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
the laws of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
and the ordinances of Lower Saucon Township,
and the ordinances of Lower Saucon Township,
without consideration
without consideration
to race,
to race,
color,
color,
sex,
sex,
religious creed, sexual orientation,
sexual orientation,
age,
age,
national origin,
national origin,
ancestry,
handicap,
or disability, and that I shall at no time divulge confidential reports
divulge confidential reports
of the department,
of the department,
nor circulate scandalous information,
nor circulate scandalous information,
and I will discharge the duties of detective
and I will discharge the duties of detective
with fidelity.
with fidelity.
His wife Kylie will pin his badge on without poking him.
Oops. Oh.
Congrats. Please join me in congratulating Detective Vito Giorgi as he starts his new venture as detective with the Lower Saucon Police Department. Move on, Victoria?
Absolutely.
We'll move on to the Police Department's 2025 award recognition. In the interest of time, I would ask that everyone hold their applause until the conclusion of the award presentations, because there are several of them, and we'll be clapping all night long.
Good.
The first one, unfortunately, goes to Officer Rob Winters, who is not here tonight, but he would receive one of the awards that are up on the front table here. And a brief description for his award is in May of 2025, Officer Winters responded to a disabled vehicle. On arrival, a vehicle had stalled and slid down a steep hill in the township, getting hung up on two large logs from a previous fallen tree. The driver was still in the vehicle, concerned the emergency brake would not hold due to the steep incline. Officer Winters was able to dig the logs out, remove them from under the vehicle, allowing the driver to continue on his way. Congratulations, Officer Rob Winters. The second one, I would ask Officer Tyler Seeley to come forward. In 2025, Officer Seeley initiated an investigation into possible narcotic sales in the township. The investigation continued for approximately a 6-month period with assistance from the Northampton County Drug Task Force until a search warrant was executed in October of 2025, resulting in the seizure of a significant quantity of narcotics consisting of methamphetamine, mushrooms, acid, marijuana, ecstasy, and GHB, along with cash. The suspect was subsequently charged with multiple felonies and misdemeanors. Congratulations, Officer Tyler Seeley.
Sam.
The next one goes to 3 officers. Unfortunately, 2 of them could not be here tonight, but I would like to call Officer Zach Pritchard forward, please. Each of these officers, Sergeant Chuck Werkheiser, Officer Zach Pritchard, and Officer Jarrell Foster, in July of 2025, they responded to a medical call for service, reported to be a maternity. On arrival, all 3 officers assisted EMS with the successful delivery of a baby girl. Congratulations, Zach, Sergeant Werkheiser, and Officer Foster. The next one is a patrol team award. I would ask Officer Tyler Seeley, K-9 Officer Steve Cunnigus, and Officer John Kirchnavi to please come forward. In April of 2025, Officer Seeley, Cunnigus, and Kirchnavi responded to a welfare check. On arrival, the officers found a female outside having a crisis while holding an infant. The officers negotiated for approximately 2 hours with the female to place the infant in the stroller or give to a family member. After continued negotiations failed, these 3 officers devised a plan to safely retrieve the infant without harm and get the female medical assistance. Congratulations, Officer Seeley, Cunnigus, and Kirchnavi. The next one I would call Officer Andrew Weeder. Forward, please. In September 2025, Officer Weeder was flagged down by a female in the Embassy Bank parking lot who wanted to file a theft report. While Officer Weeder was speaking with the female, she started clutching her neck and appeared to be choking. Officer Weeder quickly performed the Heimlich maneuver several times but was unsuccessful. He then performed black blows and another Heimlich maneuver, and the object was dislodged. Officer Weeder is commended for his quick actions, which directly contributed to saving a life, and he's receiving a life-saving award. The next award is an outside agency award, which is going to be presented to the Northampton County Drug Task Force. Detective Cassiano, if you'd come forward, please. This outside agency award goes to the Northampton County Drug Task Force, presented in appreciation for your ongoing support to our department, and in particular for your valuable assistance during a narcotics investigation. Your contribute to the successful execution of a search warrant which resulted in the seizure of a significant quantity of narcotics and the arrest of those responsible were instrumental to the operation's success. Your professionalism, cooperation, and commitment to public safety are sincerely appreciated and commendable. And that goes to the Northampton County Drug Task Force. Thank you. Next, I would call Officer Richard Cheke, Officer Steve Cunnigus, Officer Zach Pritchard, Officer Andrew Weeder, Detective Sergeant Marth, Sergeant Timothy Connell, and Sergeant Thomas Louder. I believe some of them were unable to attend. This commendation is a perfect attendance award. And they all read, in recognition of your perfect attendance for the 2025 work year, your reliability, dedication, and commitment to duty strengthen our department and support the safety of the community we serve. Richard, it's yours. Congratulations. The next ones are Chiefs Awards. I'd call forward Officer Kyle Bartholomew, Officer Jared Gunshore, our Police Department Administrative Assistant Julie Hackler, and Lieutenant Chris Lighty is up here. This Chiefs Award is presented to Officer Kyle Bartholomew in recognition for your continued commitment to the training and preparedness of our officers and township staff. Your dedication to providing ongoing recertification in CPR, first aid, AED, and tourniquet application ensures the highest standards of readiness and care within our department. In your role as an IMPIMBA instructor, that's the International Police Mountain Bike Association, you further demonstrate your professionalism by annually recertifying the department's bike patrol officers in accordance with policy. This shows your distinct dedication to training and public safety. Thank you, Kyle. This Chiefs Award goes to Officer Jared Gunshore in recognition for his commitment to weight and commercial vehicle inspections and your dedication to ensuring compliance with state and federal regulations while enhancing safety and enforcement. This next one goes to our administrative assistant, Julie Hackler. She, quite frankly, is the glue that holds everything together. Your commitment to accuracy, efficiency, and integrity plays a vital role in supporting daily operations and ensuring the success of the department. Through your reliability, attention to detail, and willingness to go above and beyond, you consistently contribute to a high standard of service and excellence. This recognition is a testament to the positive impact you make every day. Julie, thank you. This Chiefs Award goes to Lieutenant Chris Lighty, presented in appreciation of your ongoing commitment as the department's accreditation manager. Since achieving accreditation in 2013, your dedication and attention to detail have ensured the continued maintenance of this distinguished status. Your ability to uphold these high standards, in addition to your daily administrative responsibilities, reflects exceptional professionalism, diligence, and pride in your work. Your efforts are instrumental in advancing the excellence and integrity of our department. At this time, please join me with a round of applause for all the 2025.
Good job.
Thank you. I would like to take a moment and thank council for your continued ongoing support of the police department. I can assure you that the officers present and all of those who were unable to attend tonight's meetings greatly appreciate it as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Chief Bart. I just want to say on behalf of council that we truly appreciate everybody's hard work. And I think it's very wonderful to have you bring forward all of the accomplishments that they've all had this year, or last year, I should say, especially hearing about the life-saving events and the different times in which you were the first ones there to respond and protect our community really means a lot. And to have you come forward at council and hear all those wonderful things just makes me very proud to be your council president. I don't know if any other council members have any words for the officers.
I'd just like to say it's a safe community thanks to you guys, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, so what do we hear about? Aiding motorists, narcotics, delivering a baby? Wow. Welfare checks, life-saving, and welcoming a new detective to the community, accreditation, attendance, training, vehicle safety, and the administrative efforts. I think you're all doing a great job. I just saw the chart that was sent through that showed that the crime statistics are down for this year and have been coming down in our community, and I attribute that to your efforts. Thank you to each one of you.
Thank you also to the family who've come here tonight and for allowing your family members to come forward and serve our community. And so you're to be honored also. But thank you. That's all I have, unless there's pictures that they want to have out front. I don't know. Not up here with us. I just mean like with their family. So
Thank you again. Thank you very much.
thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
If you are here for that, we can take a minute break to let everybody go. If not, if you want to stay for the next thing, we are doing a resolution to recognize our junior council people. So we'll just wait for the audience.
I thought they were gonna say this is the baby.
Yeah, I want to know what the baby was named. Did they name the baby after any of you? That's what I want to know.
Really want, it's like.
You can just grab the door, the last person that's walking out. I don't know if it's propped open. Thank you so much. So next we're moving on to resolutions 42 to 48-2026. These are recognizing our junior council members. They are recognizing Township Council junior council members Nitya Thakkar, Zachary Benonis, Andrew Young. Parks and Recreation Board members Jamie Hubert, Noah Hubert, and Violet Whitley. And Environmental Advisory Council member Wallace Jimonun. And I apologize if I say that wrong. We have 3 of you here tonight, so thank you for coming. The resolution reads, whereas the Lower Saucon Township Council appoints you to serve as the junior council member of the Lower Saucon Township Council, and whereas you in the meetings of the council during the 2025 and 2026 school year and provided input from your students' point of view, and whereas this year you have done a great job and brought with you the eagerness and learning of more about local government and the community. Now, therefore, the Council of Lower Saucon Township, Victoria Optoff Cordaro, President, Priscilla DeLeon, Vice President, Hunter Gress, and Chad Heimbecker, and Laura Ray, Council members, do hereby commend you for your exemplary performance on behalf of Lower Saucon Township and the Saucon Valley School District. So thank you for the 3 of you that are here this evening. The others we have, and we'll go to those junior council members, but if you would like to come forward and we can present you with your resolutions. So first I have Nitya. This is for you. Thank you very much. You just want to stay here because then we'll get a picture with you guys and council. Jamie, thank you very much for your time. And Noah. Ooh, I didn't sign Noah's. Sorry, I signed somebody else's. You need to have yours signed.
Now it's official.
Now it's official. Okay, thank you very much. Before we do pictures, does anybody else from council want to say anything about these people? Fine young people.
This program was initiated a long time ago. I started it with the Borough Council. Yeah, my mind just went blank. One of the president of council at the time, at Borough Council, and we started this program, and it's been a hit ever since. And I think that it's so great to look on your resume and see this, because nobody else is going to have that usually. You know what I'm saying? So this is really good, and I'm very impressed that you're here and you're taking a role and you're seeing a different form of government this year than last year. And hopefully your future is bright, and good luck.
Yeah, I've had the opportunity to meet at least two of you on Parks and Rec, and I wish you both the best and appreciate your service to the community. I think it was great for you to come out and get involved this way, and it's an example to your peers to be involved with civil action and our community that way. So thank you as well. Thank you so
Tony
much.
Bronco, President Tony Bronco.
Okay, there it is. Just takes a little while. That's all.
Yes, and I'll thank you all for being on our boards as well. I hope you get something out of it, and hopefully maybe it motivates you in the future to do public service in some way. Because we need new blood coming in with new ideas.
Yeah, let us know.
We need that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd just like to echo the thank yous. And as someone who just a few years ago was in high school myself, it was nice to have a junior council person here to feel a little more represented. So I appreciate all you guys do.
Thank you. I will now entertain a motion to adopt the resolutions
I'll make the motion.
42 through 48.
I'll make it.
No second.
All right, can I have a roll call? Sorry, I know, and then we'll get the pictures when we're done with that. So they're official. You're officially in the minutes, so you can ask for the minutes and have those also.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Mr. Gress?
Yes.
Ms. Uptoff Cordero?
Yes.
Mr. Heimbecker?
Yes.
Ms. De Leon?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay. Thank you very much. I'm going to give you a clap.
Are we doing pictures with us?
Yeah. Do you want to come?
I gotta scurry.
Just shove my chair out.
I'm going to be behind the scenes, so.
Behind his head.
Just so you know, I'm standing, because some of the pictures.
That's good. I got you. Ready? Very nice. Right, thank you.
If you look at some of the YouTube videos, and it looks like I'm sitting, but I'm standing for the flag.
Thank you very much, and good luck in your future endeavors. And if you're not graduating, we hope to see you next year. Next, as a presentation, we have the Heller Homestead Park Open Space and Barn Preservation Master Plan. We have Lori Ament of LR Ament LLC. Is she here this evening? Thank you very much. Yes, that would be the best place. And I think we have a slide deck.
Yes.
We do.
Stacy, do you have you can bring up the slide deck as we go through? Excellent.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry to have my back to you. Hello, good evening. My name is Lori Ahmed. I'm a building conservator, and I'm here representing the team that developed the Heller Homestead Park Open Space and Barn Preservation Plan. And the full plan was provided in the meeting agenda. But also with me tonight is Jessica Ziegler-Seelar in the back, who's the architect on the project with Village Architecture and Preservation, and also John Price, who is the structural engineer from Green Cottage Industries. And so they're here if anyone has any questions that you might have during the question period. So I just wanted, the master plan has been developed. Can you, I'm sorry, who has control over the, are you, okay, next slide, please. The master plan was developed over the past year. It began with interviews and a site survey to understand existing conditions, and then we basically started a feedback loop, submitting drafts of the master plan and getting feedback from the committee, from the council, and then leading to this final presentation of the master plan tonight. So It's okay. I know, there's not a whole lot of text after this. So next slide, please. So I would just want to start describing the park and the existing conditions that we found within the last year. The Heller Homestead Park is located adjacent to Hellertown Borough in the city of Bethlehem. You probably know this better than I do. Next slide. If we zoom in, we see that the park is a stretch of 13.9 acres that run along the west side of Saucon Creek, so the north is to the right. The park is connected to adjacent green spaces, historic sites, and community spaces. And one of the first things that kind of struck us is the park provides or can provide an important connection between existing residential, heritage, natural, and recreational areas. Okay, next slide. So the park itself includes the historic Heller Homestead to the north that's leased to the Saucon Valley Conservancy that faces Friedensville Road. And then in the center sort of bulge section there's a nature trails and a picnic area. And then to the south, that sort of long skinny section next to the creek, there are unimproved wetlands. And it's at a much lower topography. And it's hard to reach because that orange line is actually a quarry wall. And so there's a steep slope there. And then it has a little bit of a toehold on the other end of Skibo Road, which is a very narrow frontage there. And then it's also adjacent to some unimproved land that belongs to the residential community up the hill. Okay, next slide. We just wanted to map. The majority of the park has either a natural or a cultural designation. So mentioned to the north, Heller Homestead is designated on the National Register of Historic Places. The light green, most of the park is designated as a core natural heritage area. And then the creek side, the lower creek side to the south, blue areas are on the National Wetlands Register. And then also to show that dotted white line is the regulatory floodplain. So the whole sort of creek end of the park is in the floodplain. Okay, next slide. So just to begin with, we met with the Township Committee and we sort of started out identifying the needs. We met here, and this is the National Historic Plan for the Homestead. And they expressed some need for larger gathering spaces protected from the weather, because currently the only places to meet are in these small historic buildings with small rooms. A need to expand the parking to accommodate those larger gatherings. And also the need to connect this historic section to the southern end of the park because of that topographic change. And in order to expand public access to those, maybe additional 7 acres. And that steep grade change is actually caused by quarrying, and the stone was then shipped by rail to the Thomas Iron Works just to the north. And then there was a need to make the existing 1790 stone barn ruin safe and accessible to the public, and then integrate it into the experience of the historic homestead, and that's the gray block there. And so next slide. For those who don't know, this is what the 1790 stone barn looked like. It was once a prominent feature at the homestead. And then at one point later on, a timber frame barn was added to the south. And these photos were taken in 1941. You can go to the next slide. The stone barn roof collapsed in 1998, and the remaining walls were taken down for safety reasons. And okay, you can go to the next slide. This is sort of what's left of the barn today. It's the walls are not stable. One corner has been stabilized, but much of the barn is set behind a fence. And basically it's, just to keep the public out of this area. So obviously we would like to take the fence down and return the barn as, part of the homestead. Okay, next slide. Okay, so In our report, this is a master plan. Our team working with the committee proposed individual interventions at the park to enhance the existing park, improve the visitor experience. And these are our concept level ideas. Each one of the interventions that we recommend can be undertaken separately, but we've kind of grouped them together based on priority. So the first proposed recommendations will make the barn ruin safe, integrate that barn feature into the historic homestead experience, and also provide easier access to that unimproved wetland area to the south. And these are some precedent photos of other sites that sort of helped inspire our recommendations for the park. We propose stabilizing and rebuilding portions of the 1790 stone barn so it'll be safe, it'll read as a ruin, and it'll provide an outdoor gathering area. We're sort of inspired by Lock Ridge, if anyone's been there. Also proposing building a wooden stair down that steep grade change, and then adding some stabilized soil trails to allow improved access to that lower wetland area. Okay, next slide. So this is just a site plan of the northern end of the park, just to show that where we'd create that barn ruin of the 1790 stone barn, we'd sort of regrade the adjacent wood barn foundation, which could be used for maybe tent staging, and then expanding the existing parking lot with a new 8 spaces. Okay, next slide. And then this is the southern end of the park. And the main thing here is all the way to the right, that sort of that stair that would cross that steep grade change, and then adding some trails along the creek side, so that would give you access to the creek there. Okay, and so this is a diagram showing kind of how the barn would be stabilized and rebuilt to kind of create that ruin. Okay, next slide. So then the second group of proposed recommendation is looking to provide some gathering space that's protected from the weather, and permanent bathroom facilities, which the site currently does not have. For the precedent photos, we looked at some other timber frame pavilions. The idea was to sit the pavilion inside the footprint of the former wood barn. And so these are some other pavilions that are inspired by barn structures. And the new bathroom facility could have the appearance of historic outbuildings, which used to stand on the site like a wagon shed or an out kitchen. And these are just some examples from the surrounding area. Okay, next slide. Again, this is the north site plan. Recommendations include locating the new bathroom west of the herb garden where there's existing sewer lines, constructing the new timber frame pavilion adjacent to the stone barn ruin, again, adding more gathering space that's actually protected from the weather, and then a further expanded parking lot that would add an additional 18 spots to accommodate larger gatherings. Next slide. And this is just the south end, and there's really no new work recommended at this point. Okay, so this is thank you. This diagram shows what that might look like with the stone barn ruin and the adjacent timber frame pavilion next to it. And then the next slide is a section through it, just sort of emphasizing the timber framing of the pavilion was inspired by the timber framing from the original barn. And the next slide is an elevation, just to give you a sense of scale. And then the next slide, given the nature of the site and how it's sort of set behind a fence, we thought it was important to provide a rendering of, the enhanced barn ruin and the timber frame pavilion, just to give people a sense of what it could look like should you choose to go down this path. And Jessica did this beautiful drawing.
Beautiful.
And then finally, the last group is looking at recognizing some of the challenges at the south end of the site and some recommended improvements for accessibility. And these are some precedent images because much of that area sits within the floodplain. We'd basically improve the area by installing a low boardwalk that would kind of lift the trail up off the wetlands and allow access even during flooded conditions. And that this could be an opportunity to interpret the former quarry and, the connections to the Thomas Iron Works. Okay, so the next slide is just the site plans again. And again, in this recommendations, there's no new work recommended on the north end, but the next slide, there is new work recommended, this boardwalk and some improved trail surfaces in the south end. And then the last slide are the costs. So cost estimates were provided throughout the process to help guide recommended work. And just to be transparent, the report has an appendix with full cost estimate, includes how many linear feet of wall rebuilding is assumed and all so that is in the report. Each of the proposed work items is priced separately because each one of these projects could be a standalone project. So you could build the bathroom, but not the pavilion. You could expand the parking lot, but not build the boardwalk. So that's why so each of one of those are priced as an individual project. I also wanted to point out that these are 2026 costs based on prevailing wage rates. They include things like design fees, bonding and insurance, general conditions, and also an escalation, assuming that you would do this project beyond the calendar year. And again, all that information is provided in the appendix, so you can see how all these things start to add up. And then lastly, I just wanted to say that the park has recently had some DCNR grant work take place in that center nature area, which was done successfully in 2025. So the park would be a good candidate for future grant funding because they've been shown to be responsible. So a lot of, especially the landscape and site work, would be good candidates for some of that available funding. And thank you very much.
Can I just ask to go back to, well, this slide, I guess, with the pictures, and just when you're looking at this, each piece of this can be done separately. It doesn't mean that we can put all those little doorways in at one time. It's all a la carte. That's why she was talking about the cost. And when I was at the PSATS conference in the spring, I talked to DCNR representatives, and they were really interested about grants for this particular project. So there's potential out there, and it doesn't have to be township money. It could be, and I just want to say to everybody that the Saucon Valley Conservancy and Mark Connors here for the Lower Saucon Historical Committee, we're partnering in raising money to do this separately and holding fundraisers at the homestead and wine and cheese parties and doing whatever we can to raise money and see what we can do with these pieces and see what's out there that's appropriate. We have grant writers that are on the historic committee and more than willing to look for grants. And but we have to have this plan needs to, we can't go out there looking for grants if we don't have an approved plan. That's why I wanted to put this on the agenda to get council's blessing on the concept. Now, the concept could change as the years go by because of what the grants are out there, but at least we'd have something to work with. So if we're finding grants and say, oh, we can use that for that, okay, we can start working on it. We don't have to wait till a council meeting and we might miss the boat on the grant timing. So anyway, I'd like to, I know tonight it's only on the agenda for a presentation, but I would really like to direct council to put this on the next agenda and put it up for some kind of an approval of the concept of this plan. That needs to be done. And I have a lot of notes here. I talked about the partnership, the a la carte. We went back to that Lock Ridge. If you want to go back, Stacy, a couple slides back where the...
yeah, it was after the enhanced ruin.
Yeah, right here, right here. That, I mean, I've always fallen in love with that picture, the first one. And, to me, that's like saving a ruins, and Lock Ridge Furnace is beautiful. And that could happen at the homestead. We could have that there for parties, for weddings, for, people taking pictures, and we can have it there for movies in the park. It could be yard sales underneath. It could be, there's so many things that it could be, and as an enhancement. Right now, that park is stale. It sits there, And what has happened to it? Nothing. Okay, I don't want to be disrespectful to the DCNR grant that we got last summer, but really, it's not an ongoing thing. It's every now and then we get a trickle, and that park deserves more than a trickle. It was given to us as open space and open space recreation, and it needs to be preserved like our other open space things. And it needs to be utilized and let the people use it, and it's not. So in order for us to get grants, and I was talking to a lot of grant people, you need an approved plan. So I'm asking council to put this on the next agenda, June 17th. And I don't think I need a motion for that. I think it's a direction.
Steve, do we need a motion for that, or is it just a direction?
Yeah, I think so.
So I appreciate it if it's put on the agenda, because like I said, you're stalling us from doing grant work by not having this approved. And it's not approved 100%, it could be changed. We could come with an application, you'll say, oh, I don't want to do that piece. Well, okay, let's talk about it then. But at least we're moving. Right now, the project is stalled. And it's a month stalled, and it shouldn't have been a month stalled.
I just want to say thank you, first and foremost, to you and your team for working over the past year with our township staff and with the committee. I know Priscilla was on the committee with Laura and members of our historic committee and interested citizens with the Heller Homestead and all of that. And I know a lot of work went into this project, and the rendering is beautiful. I think that the ideas are beautiful. I personally would like to see have a better understanding of the grants that may be available and the timelines that they entail, and what type of commitments they expect from the township if we were to move forward with them. So that's kind of where I am with it. I think there's a lot of opportunity, especially with the park on the southern side that connects with the opportunities to enhance the access to the water with the stairway. And I am definitely interested in making that park more accessible and taking down the fence so that the community can enjoy it for what it is. I'm personally interested in receiving more information about how we can properly fund this project moving forward. So
Well, we did have a conversation about how to fund this, and a person with experience in grants said that you approve the plan and then you work towards grants to fit that plan. It all has to come back for approval to council. So if we pick that piece and we fill out the application and bring it here, and you don't like the numbers or you don't like the looks or whatever, you turn it down and then we move on to something else. This is, just because we're applying for that grant doesn't mean that it's, am I correct? It's not set in stone. I mean,
That's not my area of expertise, but I did want to point out that there is a page in the document near the cost estimate that outlines some of the basic grants that we might recommend. I don't think it's in my presentation.
no,
it's
but
in
we
the,
were working on that list.
Yeah, it's in the
Yeah,
report, and it has names and some basic requirements for matching funding, that kind of thing. So at least it's a place to get started, to get your
Yes.
head around a couple of potential.
Right. Just like later on in the agenda, we have 2 other grants that are on. Well, we might not like those grants. We could say no. We're not rubber stamps. We don't have to say yes. So that's the same thing in my mind. So anyway, I really appreciate working with you guys, and it was fun. It was hectic at times, but I think we were a good team, and thank you for everything.
All right, thank you.
If I may?
Thank you very much.
Can I make some comments?
Go ahead, Chad.
Okay, well, I was just fortunate enough to spend Heritage Day this past Saturday at the Heller Homestead. And it obviously is a cultural landmark in our community. It's really the center of the township. If I'm, correct me if I'm wrong, but Lower Saucon Township is the oldest township in Northampton County. Is that correct?
Correct.
So I feel like we have an obligation and a responsibility to the history of this community to help maintain and preserve and protect that property. If you go back to a Parks and Recreation Committee poll that was provided to the residents last year, the number one thing, 66%, was a community center. Okay? I think what that tells me is that this township, the residents are looking for a place to gather.
So that pavilion could be that?
In part, maybe, one of those opportunities. I love Lock Ridge. I've been there for photos with my family a few times.
Right.
I think it's a beautiful place, and there maybe is some opportunity for us with the barn structure there. Let me give you some other ideas here. I'm not a huge fan of adding on new construction onto existing ruins. I'd rather just preserve and protect and stabilize what's already there. I feel like adding new construction diminishes the value of it. It cheapens it. You know that this was not the original part of the structure. So I would rather keep it just original as it is. And if there was a way to reuse some of the stones that are there on the property, whether it's part of the staircase or around the parking lot or in gardens or something like that, I think that would be helping to maintain that these were on that place. If we're going to do new construction for a wall of some sort, build something new and different with it using those.
I just wanted to say that we did a takeoff of the existing stone that's there on the site. And so based on that assessment, all of the stonework that's proposed in this plan would be covered by the existing stone in the stone barn ruin and the foundations for the timber pavilion, should you want to choose that route. So those stones would all be reused on that site.
Thank you. So that said, then, parking is an issue at this location. If we really want to use it, we have to increase the amount of space that we have for people to pull in there. Just the shuttle to take people back and forth to the grist mill for Heritage Day, they had to pull in and do a K-turn to even get around in that parking lot. So if we could get to the expanded parking lot where it's actually a loop through around there, I think that would increase the accessibility for that. I'm a big fan of a trailhead that connects out to Skibo Road. The communities and developments on the other side over there would gain access to that resource. I also think it might be beneficial if we could look at this to have a bypass or an adjunct to the bike trail for the rail trail. There's ways that people could take a left when they're coming north and they go over and they go up across the bridge and come through the park. So maybe it's not, so I don't know if that's part of this, that the elevated wood structure could handle bike traffic as well.
Carry it up the steps, but
So
up some steps to get across the quarry.
But to consider that.
We do have some bike parking as well.
Okay.
But I think it's a great idea.
And to make sure that it's ADA compliant then as well, because we want to give access to all of our community members who have mobility issues. As far as the pavilion goes, I do think it might be a neat idea to investigate in. Maybe we need to look at using a tent first before we do a hard structure.
That was a discussion.
Right, to make sure that it actually has some functional and people want to go there. But if we do go down that route, I think it would be kind of neat to recreate the barn roof. As if we take, like, the roof blew off and fell over next to it, and that's now the pavilion, I think that might be a neat approach on how to do this. And again, the restaurant that's across the river there, the PA house, right? And the location of where it is, I think it's an opportunity to have pedestrian traffic as a recreational center, perhaps a gathering space, whether it's weddings, events, photos, things like that. I think there's a lot of opportunity here for our community. So I'm just not sure about the detail of everything. But I appreciate your work on putting this together for us. Thank you.
So I'll make my comment. I don't have questions for you, Lori, but we put a lot of time into this, and of course my note doesn't show up with my comments I wanted to make tonight, but I do want to say the way we tried to lay this out eventually here was to make it like a menu, is how I kept picturing it. So we have main courses, we have side dishes, we have appetizers, so it's going to be a pick and choose plan based on when we have grants available, how we piece this together. But we would, it's underutilized space, and there's so many things that we could do with it. So that's why I think it took us so long, because we really went around on a lot of ideas, and I think we came up with some good options.
And I do want to say, if anyone hasn't been down to that southern end of the park, there's an area, it's natural on the east side of the creek, and you're in that unimproved area, and it's,
Beautiful.
you wouldn't believe that you were right next to Hellertown.
Exactly.
You can't see the soccer fields. It's
Silent.
really, really beautiful down there.
Yeah, I've walked through there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I walked through there. It's nice. There's a little bridge, right? That's at the back of the soccer field. Like when you go into Grist Mill, there's a tiny little walking bridge.
On
You know what I'm
the
talking-
east side.
That bridge used to cross the.
It's on the
that
west
used to-
side of the
used to be
soccer
bridge.
fields. There's a tiny little wooden bridge, and I'm not sure, was that the
I
Eagle
believe you're
Scout?
talking about the metal.
There's not the metal one that's got the flags on it. That's not the one I'm talking about. If you go into the soccer fields and take a left towards the west, there's a tiny little wooden,
I'm unfamiliar
and then
with
there's a
that.
little walking trail on the other side of that. And I'm not sure if there would be any way to tie in it, but that's just brainstorming.
Years ago, there was talk, Chad, that when they took that metal bridge, because that used to be the bridge over Skibo, and this Historical Society purchased it or whatever and got it on their site. Years ago, we were talking about putting that across the creek, but use it as a pedestrian
You're right.
bridge to link the Heller Homestead with the grist mill.
Yeah.
But then the people change and it just kind of fell.
Well, that's what I was trying to say. If we
Well,
could connect that
that
with
was
the rail trail goes right there. You
Well,
could
the rail
put-
trail wasn't in then. We had no idea about the rail trail then.
Sure.
This is going
Well,
back.
I'm talking today then.
Okay.
So if there's an opportunity to connect that there, I think that we could bring people in from the south side.
I know. I don't know.
Thank you. I don't, unless Hunter, you have any other comments?
No, I mean, it's a good report. There's definitely some things in there I like, some things I don't like as much, and a lot of big scary numbers attached to all those things. So definitely a lot of things to think about and consider.
Thank you very much.
Been on the scary
Thank you
numbers.
very much. Now we will move on to public comment agenda items. So if there are any members of the public that would like to speak, now is your time. Please come forward to the podium. Can somebody grab the light also? There we go.
Thank you. I'm Mark Connor, the Township Historian, head of the Historic Committee. And a lot of good words have been said by council, and certainly we all feel Priscilla's passion on this, and all of you, Chad, you had some very insightful things to say as well. I just wanted to say, I think for council, let's reflect upon something for just a moment. This was Michael Heller's farm, and this is our 250th year as a country. And he was the first person to organize supplies to go to Valley Forge in the winter of 1777 and 1778. And he certainly organized that on that farm. And perhaps that barn was built maybe 5 years later. It was certainly probably all pulled together very close to that barn or on that footprint. And when we think about that and the importance to our nation, Valley Forge, are we doing it justice by having a rubble wall behind a galvanized fence? And I'm not looking for an answer. I think we all know the answer. So I would really strongly encourage the council to approve a roadmap. That's not approving money, but approve a roadmap. I do have experience with grants. I've done 5 historic preservation grants. I've been successful on 3, and I'm waiting on 1. And they all involve stabilizing a ruin. And in each and every case, it required owner approval. And you're the owners, so I think you need to approve something before they can really go, even apply for a grant. Obviously, you'll have to approve it then when they get the grant. Right. There will also be a need to have matching funds in most cases. Now, those matching funds, your discretion, of course, it could come from township funds, but it will often come from private funds. But private people who are going to give money will want to know that it has the support of the owner. So I just leave you with those comments. And I appreciate the work that Lori and her team has done. I appreciate all the reflection that council has given, and I know you're going to give it really good consideration, but I just want to leave you with those thoughts. And thank you.
Thank you, well said.
There, thank you for your comment. Next person, anybody else for public comment agenda items?
Anne Marie Slavic, Lower Saucon Township. I just want to start by saying thank you to the police department in Lower Saucon. I appreciate them more and more every day as I look to other community areas in the Lehigh Valley that aren't so great with their police force, but our police force is fantastic. I just want to give them a shout out to, I have been sitting on the side of the road, just doing something that I had to do for some political activity, and I have never sat on the side of the road in my car without a police officer stopping by to make sure I'm okay. And they're constantly looking in the community for people that are maybe walking around, hanging around. Maybe they thought I was doing something I wasn't supposed to be doing, which is fine with me. I'm just glad they're around and they're out and about. So I want to thank them very much for that. And it was impressive to see all those officers getting all those awards. I also just want to say, in reference to what we're talking about right now for this idea of the Heller Homestead Park and nature area, I'm really appreciative of history. I love history, and I would like to say that I think it sounds like a good idea to separate your plans so that maybe one thing can be done, or you could be doing it in phases, where we're not spending all this money at one time. It's very, very financially savvy to do that. I also would say maybe getting the communities involved north of that project, they're all living there. They might appreciate that nature preserve there. The people that are living in Society Hill and then the other area on the other side of Skibbo, maybe they would like to contribute in fundraising and help with that, since they'll be participating probably in using the property. I really appreciate the history of it. What I would actually just like to say is that I would really like a little bit more oversight in reference to the spending, because I think that to spend that kind of money, $1.6 million on a nature preserve, and expecting the taxpayers of Lower Saucon to fund that, even a large portion of it, if you can get some of it in grants, would be great. But also just keep in mind that grant money does come from taxpayer dollars. Always remember that the government is not printing money, and they're not just giving it out. So we want to use it wisely. At a time when this council is trying to shut down one of our biggest taxpayer sources of revenue, the landfill, the Bethlehem landfill, which according to the landfill committee meeting, the last one that I watched on YouTube, the DEP representative was here and I listened to him, and he did want to reiterate that some of the things that council is bringing up and concerned about, that they are taking care of it, that the DEP is covering what they need to cover with the landfill and the
Can you just wrap it up, please?
So the northern realignment, one of the things the DEP representative said, that there is no issue that he sees with the DNL trail and the northern realignment. I just asking council if they could please consider trying to keep the landfill open, because at the time when you want to spend $1.6 million on a nature preserve, you want to close our biggest revenue source. So please keep that in mind. Thanks.
Thanks for your comment. Anybody else for public comment on agenda items? Okay, I'm gonna move on to hearings. Steve, I'm gonna turn this over to you. We have 2 hearings this evening.
Yes. The first one is listed as number 4A, and we should be on the record at this point. We have a court stenographer who is taking down notes. This is with regard to the ordinance number 2026-02, the data center ordinance. There's a link in your packet. This has been properly advertised. It was brought before the Planning Commission. It was duly noted through the process, and now we're ready to consider adopting. The first step would be to open the hearing, and we need a motion to do that.
So moved.
I'll second.
And Stacy has walked out because she has so many responsibilities today, so I will do the roll call. And before I do that, Priscilla was the one who made the motion, correct?
Yes.
And who seconded?
I did. Victoria.
Thank you. And if we could have, are you ready for a roll call? Sure.
Is this to open the hearing?
We open the hearing, yes.
Okay.
Priscilla made the motion, Victoria seconded.
Okay. Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Mr. Gress?
Yes.
Ms. Optoff Cordero?
Yes.
Mr. Heimbecker?
Yes.
Ms. De Leon?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay, consistent with our procedure, then, we would open it up for public comment with regard to the actual ordinance itself. Is there anyone here from the public who would like to make any comments on the ordinance? Seeing none, I'd like to note also for the record that there is a sign-up sheet for this ordinance, and it is blank. It has not been filled in, so no one has indicated they want to speak. Oh, I'm sorry, sir.
Okay. I just wanted
Sir,
to...
sir, would you mind, could you identify yourself, please?
My name is Kevin McManamy. I live in Lower Saucon.
And for the benefit of the court reporter who is very talented, could you spell your last name?
McManamy.
Yes, sir.
I just want to make a comment on it that I live on Cherry Street, and in the past, this was a while back, but there was a local farm that had a lot of water use because of the aquifer, and my well would go dry every now and then because of the use. And my worry with the fact is if we ever get a facility like that, that the water use is outlandishly, like, some of those facilities pump like 1 million gallons a day out of the ground. And it's really concerning that if the local community can't get clean drinking water, that there is no community. So,
thank you.
Just, okay, thank you.
Mark Ozimek. And as far as this hearing goes, I thought the state was trying to do a moratorium, or some people were trying to put this thing to rest for the next 2 or 3 years and push the whole idea until more studies were done. So I don't know what we got going on here, but data center accessory uses. Does anybody know what's in them? Anybody know what's going in them? Is it all black cameras? Is it all police information? Is it all government information? Is it private personnel information? Or private citizens, I mean? Nobody has a clue. Nobody says nothing. Ever, anywhere. Facebook, it's all over the place. People fighting them left and right. And they should. Because here's my question to you. I got a story in the back of my mind about use wanting one and where it's gonna go. But anyway, should my well dry up? Is the township gonna buy my water? Is the township gonna take care of the rest of my neighbors when things happen?
My name is Robert Osman, and I'm a resident in the township. I'd just like to speak to the data center and offer you some information that you might find helpful. 6 years ago, I was able to obtain online kilowatt-hour rates for residential use of about 6.05 cents per kilowatt hour. Today, it's difficult to get it under 15 cents, and as of June 1st, the rate will go up. Now, the whole Southwest is going to have a problem generating electricity because of their movement towards green energy. They did not build very many nukes. They have torn down a lot of dams. Glen Canyon Dam is expected to go to not Deadpool, but to a level at which it will no longer be able to generate by August of this year. That could affect about 14 million people. And they're going to have to go to the open market to buy electricity. What do you guys think is going to happen to our electric rates? If this does not bring a significant benefit to the community in terms of revenue, and I would hope that you guys would explore through council whatever kind of considerations for impact that a data center would have on this community to offset any negatives so that we might benefit from enhanced fees and revenue sources from them. I know it's been done in California. I wish you guys would explore it. Don't give up the opportunity. Once they're here and they're starting to compete for that electric rate in a market that's going to have, a grid's going to have trouble. I would certainly think within the next 2 years, you're going to see a lot of trouble on the grid nationally. There just won't be enough power to go around. Don't put us in a situation where we're really struggling to compete for electric rates with somebody that uses a lot more than any of the rest of us.
Anne Marie Slavic, Lower Saucon Township. These are just some thoughts. I'm not 100% against data centers, and I'm not 100% for them. What I would like to see is the developers in our area, and that includes the Planning Commission, Lehigh Valley Economic Development Corp., and our local officials, look for other alternatives. That is, if you're going to build a data center, look for buildings that are not being used. Look for blighted property areas that maybe can be bought out, taken, and use an area that has already been built on instead of using the land that hasn't been built on. I'd also like to see less warehouses, and instead of having 5 new warehouses, put a data center in. Other alternatives, and I know that I have actually spoken with some of the people that I know in Harrisburg. State legislators are doing tours of these data centers all around the country. They're doing research on them. They're asking questions. They're actually going to data centers. There's actually one down in the Philadelphia suburbs where they utilized an old building that was sold by a big pharmaceutical company. I think it's down off of 29, or there's an area down there, I forget the name of it. It used to be a pharmaceutical company, so they have a lot of security there. They had a big fence and a security gate, so they utilized that for a data center. I also know of the Amazon warehouse up in Luzerne County that actually uses gets all of their power from the power plant in Berwick. So there are other alternatives that we could look to do instead of just assuming that they're going to take all of our energy and assuming they're going to take all of our water, because the people that I know that have toured these places have said that they don't take the water, they don't keep taking water, they take water and they recycle the same water, and it goes in the building and out of the building. So in other words, they're only using a certain amount of water and they're reusing it. So there are things that we could do our own research on. We could call our local officials in Harrisburg. We could call our state reps and our state senators, and we could find out what they know and not make assumptions. Thanks.
Thank you. Not seeing anyone else. The next step is council discussion. Before we start with council discussion, I remind council that this is a use that we do not have currently in our ordinance. The ordinance is now establishing the use and regulating where it can be utilized, how it can be utilized, and so on. The question is not whether, the question really before council is where you want to place these or where you want to allow these types of uses, because you cannot by law simply not have an opportunity to have this use anywhere in the township. That creates a problem for potential litigation and otherwise. So we are essentially ahead of the curve when it comes to this, and it's prospectively regulating the use rather than either not doing anything, which will be catastrophic, or you can't completely say you cannot have them in our township because you're just not permitted to do that. So just so you understand what we're doing and why. I know we've had this discussion before, but I don't want to be in a position where it's less than clear today. So with that, does anyone have anything they'd like to discuss before we move on to the motion to adopt, or to at least consider the motion to adopt?
I want to just say thank you to the staff for bringing this forward quickly. We've had LVPC review it and our own planning commission review it, who are both, have been very much on top of the different types of parameters and things that we want to keep in mind when we're trying to provide for, protection of our water and our electricity and different things. I think it's imperative that we pass this, because I don't want to run into a situation where somebody buys a piece of land and wants to develop a data center in our township, and I have no regulations on that. And I cannot restrict it because we don't currently provide for that use. By law, we have to. So that's all.
Is there anyone else?
I'll say that, again, to help address some of the residents' concerns, there's entire sections in here on water and sewer connections, which limit the amount that the structure is allowed to take out of the ground, what their impact is going to be, the studies that are required, the calculations and limits, the monitoring wells, testing, water levels, locations, geologic data, and rates, the amount of discharge. I feel like those concerns are addressed in this document, that we're not going to be draining wells. And as far as I understand it from my involvement with other organizations, with the Lehigh Valley and the environmental committees, many of these facilities are switching over to self-contained coolant mechanisms, glycine, I think, and so they're pulling less water out of the ground to begin with as it is. I'm not sure what we can do about electricity rates, what power we have as a township over the utilities, but I know that there is impact assessment studies on energy use under Section H in here that need to be complied with. And again, I second what Victoria's saying here about that we need to get this approved, and I support this because without this ordinance in place, a data center could come in and theoretically buy up residential property at this point and put it anywhere in the township. And what this does is it explicitly limits data centers only to be permitted by conditional use only, which would require additional council oversight in light manufacturing zoning districts, which again is over off of near the landfill and the Apple Butter Road area. And with our progress that we're trying to work on a hybrid zone within the Easton Road, it would also prevent and limit that from that area as well for the residents that are part of that community there. So I support this, and I look forward to passing this ordinance tonight.
Sure, and I want to make a couple comments too. So just to address the idea of the state doing a moratorium, that has been talked about, but the state doesn't work very quickly. So we can get our ordinance in and passed, and that gives us some protection as to where a data center could possibly go, and give us control and put conditions on how it functions. So without the ordinance, we have no protection at all. So we do read up on this, and I've been to a number of sessions about this topic, and there are areas in the Lehigh Valley that are being caught off guard. They don't have an ordinance in place, so they're kind of at the mercy of the companies coming in. So we want to get ahead of that and have our ordinance. So it's not that we're encouraging or desiring data centers to come, but if they do, we have rules in place to help protect our residents and our environment. That's it.
Okay.
To me, it's pretty straightforward. We have an ordinance here that limits where these things can be built. It's no different than a zoning ordinance that limits where you can have a gas station. It's just our threats or concerns with a data center may be more so than that of a gas station. You might worry about a fuel tank leaking with a gas station, with a data center. You worry about water use, electricity use. And the ordinance here goes over all that and provides protection for residents while still allowing that business to theoretically exist in the township here. So I think it's a smart move to adopt this and provide protection for all parties involved.
Right, and I'd like to say that I'm not in favor of these data centers. I'm not in favor of a lot of things, but as an elected official, I have to make decisions. And this is a decision that we have to, as a board, make and protect our residents. And like I think Laura said, that there's areas in the Lehigh Valley that haven't passed these ordinances. And so the residents are at risk because they could be put anywhere. So by us passing this and supporting it, the staff did a great job on identifying possibilities or, whatever, copying from other places that passed them. And so I'm in favor of it. And, so that's it.
Very well. This would be the appropriate time if there was somebody who would be willing to make a motion to adopt the ordinance.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
We're ready for a roll call?
Ms. Aptow Cordero?
Yes.
Mr. Heimbecker?
Yes.
Ms. De Leon?
Yes.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Mr. Gress?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
This is the appropriate time for a motion to close the hearing.
I will make that motion.
Second?
I have a question. The ordinance in front of us, it just doesn't say, it says 2026 dash, so it should be 2026 dash 02?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just gonna write that in there.
We're ready for a roll call for the motion to close the hearing.
Yeah, I know it's there, but it's not there. I'm gonna keep this.
Mr. Heimbecker?
Yes.
Ms. De Leon?
Yes.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Mr. Gress?
Yes.
Aptow Cordero?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay, thank you. With that, we are closing, that hearing is closed. Now we're ready to go to the next one, which is item 4B on the list, the discussion and possible adoption of ordinance 2026-03, striking Appendix A from the zoning ordinance. As you may recall, this has been before both council and the planning commission. Appendix A is an appendix of the zoning ordinance that has essentially been outdated and not kept up to date. This is simply striking it, which will make it simpler and relieve administrative staff from a burden that has been difficult to keep up with. With that, would anybody like to make a motion to open the hearing?
I'll make the motion to open the hearing.
I'll second it.
Whenever you're ready, Stacy.
Ms. De Leon?
Yes.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Mr. Gress?
Yes.
Ms. Aptow Cordero?
Yes.
Mr. Heimbecker?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
With regard to public comment, is there anyone in the public who would like to comment on this ordinance? Seeing no one, I'd also note for the record that there's a sign-up sheet and no one has signed in. Is there any council discussion?
No.
I don't have anything.
No.
Is there a motion to adopt the ordinance?
I'll make a motion.
I'm sorry, was there a second? Did I miss it?
I'll second it.
Wait, who made the motion?
Hunter.
I did?
Let's start again. Is there a motion to adopt the ordinance?
I'll make the motion.
That was Chad. And then is there a second?
I will second it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Mr. Gress?
Yes.
Ms. Aptow Cordero?
Yes.
Mr. Heimbecker?
Yes.
Leon?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Is there a motion to close the hearing?
I'll move to close the hearing. Priscilla?
I'll second.
Mr. Gress?
Yes.
Ms. Aptow Cordero?
Yes.
Mr. Heimbecker?
Yes.
De Leon?
Yes.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you. So before we move on to developers' items, just to be clear, we have our court reporter, our person in our crew who's taken down the record, and she's going to leave, at her leisure, is ready to leave whenever she wants. She doesn't have to stay for the rest of the meeting. She's more than welcome to.
Moving on to developer items, we have the Rosen Grant preliminary final land development, 0125-3667 on Route 378. Is there anybody here? You can take a seat at the table if you'd like, and then there's a couple mics. Just make sure that they're lit green when you go to speak.
Perfect, thank you.
Yes, I'm Tyler Freed from East Engineering. I'm representing this project tonight. Beside me is Tim Rosengrant, the owner of the property. As some of you may recall, we were before you guys with the conditional use for this project. This is for the auto body repair shop along Route 378. This project's gone through numerous reviews. We've been before the Planning Commission, and at this point we're looking for final plan approval from council tonight. So we have the draft resolution in front of us. Mr. Rosengrant had just signed a copy and given that to your solicitor. We're in agreement with all the conditions. So we're, if you guys have any questions, we're here to answer them. But like I said, we're seeking final plan approval tonight.
So for clarity purposes, just so we're clear as to what took place, Hanover Engineering had prepared a draft motion for Rosengrant preliminary/final development and site plan. There's a series of recommendations. The developer has signed it. Mr. Rosengrant handed it to me just now. So they are willing to comply with all of the recommendations and comments set forth by Hanover Engineering. From Hanover's, Brian, is there anything you need to add at this point or would like to add?
No, the significant conditions are that they comply with our last review letter, which contains what I would call cleanup items and a checklist of items that they need to do, including legal items, before we record the plan. The second is that they obtain approval from the authority for all of the comments that they have. Third, this motion would grant 1 EDU of sewer treatment allocation to this property. And the rest are standard items of what they need to provide. So they've been here. Come here for a variant review as well.
We did.
So I think they've been here twice. The plan has not significantly changed in any manner from the times you've seen it before.
So if someone, if someone was
Been
inclined,
thoroughly scrutinized by the Planning Commission and our office. So
if there's no specific questions or if there's, there can be afterwards too, but if somebody is willing to make a motion to grant preliminary/final plan development and site plan approval in accordance with the Hanover Engineering motion, which has been signed as of May 14, 2026.
So moved as stated by the solicitor.
I'll second.
Is there any discussion from anyone from council? If not, we're ready for a roll call.
Ms. Althoff Cordero?
Yes.
Mr. Heimbecker?
Yes.
Ms. De Leon? Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Mr. Gress?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you, and we look forward to your development.
Thank you.
Welcome
to the township. Thank you. Good luck to you and your business.
Moving on to township business items. First, we have the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection Assessment on the Meadows Road pump station. The township engineer is going to discuss the requirements of the PADEP has sent to the township.
So I believe it was sometime last fall, as the Meadows Road Pump Station was under construction, council asked that we look at bringing up to date the service area map for the Meadows Road Pump Station, which was established by sewer planning in the late 90s. So we did that. We put a report together and we went to DEP to inquire on the approval process that council would need to go through to approve a revision just to the service area map. And DEP laid out a rather onerous process of what you would need to go through to do that. It would be a long process, it'd be a complicated study, and I would like council to consider one of two directions. Either one, you can go down that route and we can do that study and you can change the service area map. Or two, we leave the service area map the way it is today, knowing that it's not significantly different, but it would require, if developers want to connect to the pump station, they'd have to do their own study. The existing areas of the township that could be served by this, by that I mean existing homes and businesses. If council at some point in time believes that they should connect to an extension of public sewer from the Meadows Road pump station, you can study it then. So those are your two options. Either continue ahead with the study required by DEP or say, we're going to leave the existing Act 537 plan for the Meadows Road pump station in place.
Steve, do we need a motion to?
So if you're going to take the second option where you're essentially going to leave it in place, technically you don't really need a motion because you're not doing anything. That being said, it appears on a public meeting, you've had a report, and if you want the record to reflect, so there's clarity down the line, it would make sense to make a motion to just keep essentially the plan as is and to take no further action. So if someone was inclined, they would make a motion to direct the engineer to take no further action with regard to the 529 or the Pennsylvania DEP assessment on Meadows Road pump station at this time. Did I state that accurately? Right?
That's fine.
I would like to make that motion.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion from anyone?
Just to clarify again, you said any new development, that developer would be responsible for the cost of any study.
To serve their development.
To serve their development, not the township.
Correct.
You can do a roll call whenever you're ready.
Mr. Heimbecker?
Yes.
Ms. De Leon?
Yes.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Mr. Gress?
Yes.
Ms. Optoff Cordero?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you. Next, we have Resolution 49-2026, which is the Right to Know Officer and Policy Update. The Office of Open Records updated the appeal submission process effective April 20th, 2026. Resolution 49-2026 has been prepared to reflect all appeals must be submitted electronically moving forward. So with that, I will entertain a motion to approve Resolution 49-2026 to update the right to know policy. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion to update the policy.
I'll second.
Ms. De, roll call? Ms. De Leon?
Yes.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Mr. Gress?
Yes.
Ms. Optoff Cordero?
Yes.
Mr. Heimbecker?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Next, I have Resolution 50.
You just voted no. Did you say no?
No, I said yes.
Okay. Sorry, I misunderstood.
Next, I have Resolution 50-2026, which is to authorize the 2026 Norco grant submission. Staff has drafted this to request authorization to submit a grant for the purchase and installation of security cameras at several township parks. So I will entertain a motion to approve Resolution 50-2026 to authorize a submission for the 2026 Norco grant. And that's a Northampton County grant.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Ray? Oh, I'm sorry.
Just to clarify for anyone who doesn't have this in front of them, this is a grant, again, for purchase of security cameras. Do we know what parks these are gonna go at?
We do, but it would not make, yes, but perhaps that should not be necessarily something we should be discussing here.
Well, we're gonna see them when they go up, but okay.
Because there's some, because for obvious security reasons, some parks have them, some parks don't, and so on and so forth.
Okay. But for the values in here, it says the township's commitment in the amount not to exceed 25,000, and the grant municipal portion, which would come from Northampton County, correct, would be in the amount of $50,000. So just so you understand what we're looking at in getting out of this. So.
I'll entertain a roll call, please.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Mr. Gress?
Yes.
Ms. Cordero?
Yes.
Mr. Heimbecker?
Yes.
Ms. De Leon?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you thank you very much. Next, I have resolution 51-2026, which is to authorize the 2026 Community Development Block Grant submission. This is to request authorization for purchase of a playground at Steel City Park. I will entertain a motion on that.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second that motion.
Roll call?
Mr. Gress?
Yes.
Ms. Aptoff Cordero?
Yes.
Mr. Heimbecker?
Again, on this before I say yes. We're replacing 2 playground structures and 1 swing set at Steel City with new structures and swing set similar in size. This would be a township commitment of $15,000, and the grant portion, if awarded, would be in the amount of $45,000, roughly. So I vote yes for this.
Ms. De Leon?
Yes.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you very much. Next, I have resolution 52-2026, which is disposal of police equipment. The police department is looking to dispose certain equipment with Fiber Brokers International LLC. I will entertain a motion to approve 52-2026 for the disposal of police equipment with Fiber Brokers International. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second the motion.
Can I make some comments on this one, just because it interested me?
Now would be the time.
Okay, so not that I'm against it, but I remember we did this last year, so I guess the police vests are only good, they're warranted for a certain number of years, and I forget what, 4 or 5 years, okay. So I wondered last year when we did this, it's like, well, why don't you like donate them to maybe a place that can't afford any, or, you know. So I looked into it and I found that you know, a lot of townships don't want to do that because of legal reasons, that they don't want to be held responsible if they're giving equipment that's not quite up to par. But I also read that there's certain things that some areas are doing with their used vests that maybe we could think about for future, and they take them and they will line like their doors in their car with these somehow. I don't know if you can open them up and there's a pocket in there. You can line your car to make you safer from flying bullets. Other places, they do something in their trunk with it for the same reason. Use them in desks in office areas for protection for employees. So there was a lot of creative reuses for these that would, if you kept it within the township, you wouldn't be having the liability because you're not giving it to another place. So I would just like to see us think about that for future reuse, because I'm sure we have to pay for this service. So if we could reuse some, I'm all about recycling, you know. So that's my comment.
That's a good idea to bring back to Chief Barnes, see what he thinks we can do with it to repurpose to help protect.
I mean, even on the dais, you know, like, you know, it is scary up here sometimes. So I would crawl under there.
Thank you very much, Laura, for that information and for all the investigation you did on that. So I will entertain a roll call.
Ms. Aptoff Cordero?
Yes.
Mr. Heimbecker?
Yes.
Ms. De Leon,
Yes.
Ms. Ray,
Yes.
Mr. Gress.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay, next we have appointment of interim zoning hearing board solicitor. As mentioned earlier tonight, unfortunately, the zoning hearing board solicitor passed away. We have to appoint somebody on an interim basis so that they have a solicitor in the event something comes up that they need to address. So I will entertain the motion to approve the appointment of interim zoning hearing board solicitor. And I'm gonna unfortunately butcher this name.
It's Suzanne Arafat.
Thank
Even though
you.
it does not appear to be spelled that way. That's what it is.
Suzanne Arafide, Esquire, as the interim zoning hearing board solicitor. So I will entertain a motion for that.
So moved.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Before we roll call, is there a procedure for how we pick the interim, or?
There is. There's two sets of issues that are before you. One is to pick an interim now, because with the untimely passing of Mr. Heitzman, there's an upcoming zoning hearing matter. It's not for this month, but next month, so there's a time issue. Because it's professional services, you don't have to bid, you don't have to go through a process. You can simply pick someone.
Okay.
It is my recommendation, because I have Ms. Arafat, or Attorney Arafat, serves as a zoning solicitor in various other municipalities where I'm the solicitor, or our office is the solicitor. So when Mr. Finnegan asked who would I recommended her, because I know she's good, and I talked to her, and she's willing to do this. Next on the agenda, after we do this, is an authorization for what's known as an RFP, where we go get bids to see if other people are interested. So then ultimately, you may choose to go with your interim solicitor, you may choose to go with somebody else, or whatever the case may be. So this is essentially the temporary fix, and then there'll be the more permanent fix next on the agenda.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Is there any time limit restriction on?
No, she is the interim solicitor until she's not.
Until, okay.
Okay, I will entertain a roll call.
Mr. Heimbecker,
Yes.
Ms. De Leon,
Yes.
Ms. Ray,
Yes.
Mr. Gress,
Yes.
Ms. Aptow Cordero.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you. As Steve mentioned, the next thing we have is authorization for our township manager to issue a RFP, otherwise known as a request for proposals, for a zoning hearing board solicitor. This would allow people who are interested to provide their resume, and then we will consider them at a future date. So I will entertain a motion to authorize the manager to issue the RFP for the zoning hearing board solicitor. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Roll call?
Ms. De Leon,
Yes.
Ms. Ray,
Yes.
Mr. Gress,
Yes.
Ms. Aptow Cordero,
Yes.
Heimbecker.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you very much. Next, we have consideration of the vacancy for the Planning Commission. We had a vacancy occur on August, we had a vacancy occur, I think, just last year, and we've had an application come forward, and at this time, the acting manager is recommending to fill that vacancy on the Planning Commission with a term ending December 31st, 2029. So I will entertain a motion to appoint David Lankowitz as the new Planning Commission member.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Chad, did you have a question?
No.
Oh,
Did he just second it?
you did. You're good.
Ms. Ray,
Yes.
Mr. Gress,
Yes.
Ms. Aptow Cordero,
Yes.
Mr. Heimbecker,
Yes.
Ms. De Leon.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Just to clarify that, the Planning Commission expiration, or the term for that appointment is December 31st, 2029. Next, we have Resolution 53, 2026, which is engagement with the PA DCED for fire apparatus and major equipment study. Just to give everybody an understanding, the Fire Services Executive Committee has been monitoring and reviewing the apparatus that our volunteer fire company has, And since the study that we have is going back, I think, to 2017, we have, the executive committee has recommended that we undertake a new study. Our acting manager has put forward a request for that to be done, and we got the letter back from the DCED. So I will entertain a motion to approve Resolution 53, 2026 for the township to engage the services of the PA DCED to perform an analysis of Lower Saucon Fire Rescue's apparatus and major equipment.
I'll make the motion as stated by.
I'll second.
Before we do a roll call, just for the public's sake, this study is done at little or no cost to the township, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yes. DCED funds the study themselves, so.
The DCED being the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development.
Thank you,
And
Jeff.
that's right. So under resources and budget, it says here at the back, 4.2, there should be, well, it says should be no cost to the community for the project. DCED will only cover the time for technical assistance as well as travel. Any direct costs or other items requested by the municipality must be covered by the municipality, such as printing. So that's what we might be looking at.
Printing our report.
Printing. And as long as it's not $5,000 a page, we're okay. Right?
Yeah, I think the one that we had before, like you said, was from 2018 was when we received it, and a lot of things have changed since then. Notably is all the mergers of the departments and then the equipment that we have on hand. So it's a good time to reevaluate what the plan for replacement equipment is.
So I will entertain a motion.
You took it.
I took
you
it,
did.
sorry.
Laura
Chris.
and Priscilla.
Okay, so a roll call, sorry.
All right, Mr. Gress,
Yes.
Ms. Aptoff Cordero,
Yes.
Mr. Heimbecker,
Yes.
Ms. De Leon,
Yes.
Ms. Ray.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you. Next, we have Resolution 54, 2026, which is adoption of the 2026 Emergency Operation Plan. So just so everybody's aware, we have to adopt this plan every 2 years. It was done 2 years ago, but it gets updated from time to time. The information is sensitive for township security purposes. So I will entertain a motion to approve Resolution 54, 2026, approving the 2026 Emergency Operational Plan.
I'll make the motion to approve the plan.
And I will second that motion.
Can I have a roll call, please?
Ms. Aptoff Cordero,
Yes.
Mr. Heimbecker,
Yes.
Ms. De Leon,
Yes.
Ms. Ray,
Yes.
Mr. Gress.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay, now we have Resolution 55, 2026, which is Sourcewell Purchasing Cooperative Program. My understanding is that just like we have co-stars where we can go on and purchase equipment or entertain a specific company that's approved by co-stars to do work, there is a similar company by the name of the Sourcewell Purchasing Cooperative Program. And in this instance, we are looking to replace certain benches in the township. And the benches are, I should say that they're picnic tables for Town Hall Park and Southeastern Park, that's right. And so the benches we're looking at benches that are from a company that is a member or a partner with Sourcewell Purchasing Cooperative Program. Our Public Works Department has assured us that they have used that before, and it's an approved place to purchase those type of equipment. So this would just be an addition to kind of co-stars, but we need to have a resolution in order to purchase that equipment. So I will entertain a motion to approve Resolution 55, 2026 to join the Sourcewell Purchasing Cooperative.
Okay, I'll make the motion to join Sourcewell Cooperative.
I will second that motion.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Heimbecker?
Yes.
Ms. De Leon?
Yes.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Mr. Gress?
Yes.
Ms. Aptoff Cordero?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you very much. Now we have miscellaneous business items, approval of the April 15th, 2026 minutes. Can I have a motion to approve the April 15th, 2026 minutes?
I'll make the motion to approve the minutes from April 15th, 2026.
I'll second.
Okay, nobody has any edits, revisions, all good? Roll call, please.
Ms. De Leon?
Yes.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Mr. Gress?
Yes.
Ms. Aptoff Cordero?
Yes.
Mr. Heimbecker?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Just do the search.
Next, we have approval of the April 2026 financial reports. I will entertain a motion to approve those April financial reports.
I cut you off. I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Mr. Gress?
Yes.
Ms. Aptoff Cordero?
Yes.
Mr. Heimbecker?
Yes.
Ms. De Leon?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you very much. Now we are on to public comment, agenda and non-agenda items with a 3-minute limit. If you would like to make a public comment on anything related to the township, please come forward to the podium.
My name is Thomas Carafalo. I live at 1856 Meadows Road in the township. And I'm here to talk about, well, first I'd like to say it's a pleasure coming to a meeting. Last time I was here and you weren't smiling at all.
Am I smiling now?
Smiling all night. I'm here to talk about the bridge opening and the amount of traffic and the speeding going down the road. It's not with everybody, but there are those occasional people that are flying down the road. And I have some concerns. I mean, my grandchildren live around the block and they ride their bikes. I also wanted to say that I served on a board like this. I was on zoning, I was on planning, so I know how everything works. Okay, I did contact Priscilla a while ago, and she turned me on to Chief Barn, and we've had conversations, one today, of course, about what can be done, what can't be done. Someone came up with the idea of putting up 4-way stop signs. Can't do that in Pennsylvania because the studies say that it doesn't slow anybody down. If it's for safety, maybe it can be done. The speed limit there is 35 miles an hour. So I'm sure the officer will attest that it can almost go up to like 43, 44 miles an hour before you'll give someone a summons on any road. It used to be a rural road. It's not rural anymore. It's a residential area, and there are a lot of people, a lot of kids, people walking their dogs. There are no sidewalks. I've spoken to a few of my neighbors. I'm always outside. So I see people walking from, the other meadows down by O'Brien, no vests, no bright colors, and it's gonna be a problem. Somebody's gonna get hurt. I don't know what the township can do as far as lowering the speed limit to 25. Most residential areas, you pull in and you look at the signs. As you come up from 412, it's 25 miles an hour. And right after the rail trail, it's 35. And they're moving, especially at the bottom, because I'm on Meadows. When you run the stop sign and come around the corner and head down Meadows, people are going fast. They inherently go fast because they're on a hill. But if it's 25 miles an hour, maybe that'll slow them down. A lot of people are going the speed limit. I had my son-in-law go by. And so I could get a good idea what 35 miles an hour looks like. So I don't know what the township can do in conjunction with PennDOT, if you guys can do something. like I said, one of my neighbors brought up the point that we don't have sidewalks, so everyone's walking in the street. I see people crossing over with dogs, with kids, with strollers, coming out from Victor and Viola and Clarence. Well, I'm done. But please look into this and do something. I know the police have more important things to do than just give out traffic tickets. Maybe we can hire someone who is a police officer. That can be his function, is to give out tickets. And it's been said to me that, well, you're just doing it to generate revenue. No, we're trying to keep everybody safe. So I'm coming here by myself. I didn't want to bring a big contingency and, you know, like I've seen here in the past, and everybody's screaming and then you shut it down. So nothing personal, but I've seen it happen. So anyway, thank you very much for your time. Oh, and the power's back on. I don't know if anybody left without their power on, but it's back.
Thank you for your comment. Anybody else for public comment, agenda, non-agenda items? Going once, going twice. Moving on to council reports.
Before we go any further, there were two things actually. One was with moving back into the agenda itself with regard to the, let's see, there was a promulgation, and that has to be by motion.
I'm following the
emergency plan.
I know, but I'm following what was on here.
Okay. Okay, so we'll get it signed afterwards. Sorry, I apologize. And then there was a individual who sent in a request for a statement, and it was asked to be read in. So may I do that?
Yes, you may.
And to be clear, I was asked to do this. This is from Diane Hollowell, who says as follows: as part of the Parks and Rec Committee, I would like to give a shout out to Roger Rasich and his crew. When I visit our parks, I always ask patrons any concerns that they may have, and 100% of the time, comments are extremely positive. They do an amazing job of keeping our parks clean and safe, and it is much appreciated. I also appreciate all the updates the township puts on social media. Thank you, Carol and Stacy, for keeping the taxpayers informed. Again, someone who speaks at public comment mentioned Virginia again. Who is that? It just reminds me of the President Trump mixing up Iceland and Greenland and making an island of Penguins Bay tariffs. This May 12th, our Republican president stated, I quote, open quote, "I do not think about Americans' financial situation. I don't think about anybody," close quote. I am so thankful for all you Democrats on this board who take your responsibilities seriously and work to create a fiscally sound township. I also appreciate the township actively seeking out grants to supplement projects that benefit the township. Just hoping a golden ballroom is not in your future plans. That is the end of the note that was provided.
Thank you very much. I think I can now move on to council reports. So I will start with Priscilla. Would you like to go?
Okay, yes. Geez, I think I was busy this last month. On April 16th at 2 p.m., I attended a landfill committee meeting. I attended the PSES conference out at Hershey. I attended on April 27th, the Lower Saucon Township Historic Committee meeting. On April 28th, I attended a HOW meeting, and I attended Heritage Day this past Saturday, which was excellent. I think it was a great combination of our heritage, and I was especially involved in collecting donations. If you heard Mark Connor talk about the donations, imitating what Michael Heller did, and we got donations for the food bank, so I was very happy to do that and help them out. So that was happy. I also got at least 10 people to sign up for the barn committee. They came up to me and asked if they could help. So I was very happy to hear that. And also I'm expecting the open space plan to be back on the agenda on the 17th for approval so we can get going with grants. Meadows Road Bridge opening, attended. And I also like to, I know the gentleman that was here spoke to me about speeding. So if we can pass that on to the administration, they can look into that. I would appreciate it. Can somebody do that? Steve, can you
We can take a
talk
look at
to somebody and have them look into the speeding and what we can do to help the residents out there? And I guess that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Priscilla. Hunter?
Short and sweet. I attended the fire services meeting, or at least the tail end of it, earlier this month. I got a little bit of valuable information out of that. And last Saturday, I attended Heritage Day, and it was to me, a great presentation of our history. I'd just like to thank all the volunteers and staff of both the borough and the township who helped to make sure that was well put together and organized. And it was a great event. I had a good time there. Perfect weather. Thankful for everyone who made it happen. That's all for me, though.
Laura?
Sure. I'll start off with the PSATS conference that I attended for 2 of the days. Some of the training sessions that I went to, one that I like a lot that they do is the roundtable discussions, and they split you out into groups based on your township size because you have similar type of issues. So I was in the roundtable for the townships with population greater than 10,000. I attended a cybersecurity session, one on recycling grants and organics management, one on effective fire services on a budget, and another on the process that you go through for land development, subdivision, and planning. So there's always a lot to learn. There's so much it's hard to pick which sessions to go to, really. We had our historic committee meetings. We had our final one on April 27th before, getting prepped for Heritage Day. And then on Monday night, we met again to do like a retrospective of the event, of what went well, what we can improve on. It was well attended. We probably had at least 12 people. So it was nice. People are interested in the event. Heritage Day, of course, was on May 16th. It was a great event. We had the perfect weather. May 7th, we had our Fire Services Executive Committee. So we had a representative from Glick, who is the company that's making our tanker pumper. So they came and showed us the plans for that. We are expecting delivery of that next summer. I think July is an estimate. We also discussed at the meeting different funding options for improvements and updating the Southeastern Firehouse. And in April, our volunteer firefighters had 72 calls. On May 12th, I attended the EAC meeting. Some of the things that we have coming up, we plan to be at Community Day this year in Hellertown in Dimmick Park. That's on August 19th. We're going to do a free make and take thing for kids and adults too, for making mason bee houses. We're also going to do sign up for a composting workshop, which we're going to hold at our October meeting. But we will be doing sign-ups for people interested in the composting bin and coming to the composting workshop. So we will be selling those bins for $20, which is very inexpensive. If you look at the prices of them, they sell for about $100. But we have some old stock to get rid of. We're also doing electronic recycling in September on the 19th. That'll be here at the township. So just so people know, if you're starting to find things, if you're doing your spring cleaning, set your electronic items aside, and we will collect them in September. Also in October, another thing, if you're doing spring cleaning, if you come across hazardous waste materials, if you're cleaning your garage or your basement where you have things that you want to get rid of safely, Northampton County does their collection on October 3rd. It's over at the Northampton Community College. You have to register in advance, so look for, I'm sure we have the info on our website where you can click over to where you register. It's well-run. Hundreds and hundreds of people go to it, but they get you through there in no time. It's a great event. We also ended our single-use plastic survey on April 20th. We got 242 responses. 98 of those people left comments in the free form section. We read each and every one of those. It's a lot to digest. I was surprised that a lot of the comments, so even though it was about single-use plastic items, we got a lot of comments about they were unhappy on the approval to double the size of the dump, which I will point out that none of us sitting up here did that action. So I think there's confusion. And many people, along with the theme of how to replace single-use plastics, such as bags and utensils and straws, they were kind of frustrated. It's like, why do that little thing when we have this big dump that has a lot of microplastics in it? So to me, you got to start somewhere. If you do nothing, you're doing nothing, and it's not going to get better. So that's my take. I know Chad has a little more details on the survey.
Thank you, Laura.
You good?
Chad?
All right.
You.
Well, in honor of the Heritage Day and honoring Saucon Valley's revolutionary roots that we did this past weekend, I got one joke for you. Why does George Washington stand in all his portraits?
Because he can't sit
Because he
down?
cannot lie. Come on. It's good stuff. April 27th, I was at the Rail Trail Commission. And to talk about the Meadows Bridge, that was brought up during that meeting, that the rail trail there, after the bridge opens now, many people are not going to be used to it because of the new traffic. So I think I'd like to second the resident who spoke, Mr. Garofalo, as well as Priscilla here, to direct or inquire of the administration, Public Works, to make sure that the crosswalk there for the rail trail has the proper signage and perhaps lighting for the crossing there to ensure public safety for pedestrians. We also had a good talk about the native plant garden that is at the Reading Trailhead there. They're always looking for volunteers, and they're planning on doing some educational activity there as well. And at that location as well, there is going to be facility improvements with the installation of a new restroom that is under construction and I believe is planned for completion in the September-October timeframe this year.
The trailhead?
Yeah, the trailhead for at the Reading Trail.
So that's been ordered and everything?
Yeah, it's been approved. We have the money for it, and the plans are in place, and so construction should be 12 to 14 weeks out was what I was told last time I looked into it. So that's the rail trail. Again, I was involved with the planning for Heritage Day with the Conservancy and Historical Society on April 27th. That was also a good meeting in preparation for this event. The Parks and Recs meeting for May 4th was canceled. When we talk about Parks and Rec and we go back to the Heller Homestead, just to talk it out, funding is important, and without being a new burden, just to make note of it, we do have open space funds that were collected over, I believe, 15 years on an EIT that was approved under referendum from the community. And a certain percentage of that, I believe it's about 20%, can be used for maintenance and facility improvements at existing township parks. So maybe there's an opportunity within there, as well as finding private capital or volunteers, donations to help do this. This money's already sitting in an account waiting to help our community. Do I want to spend it all in one location? No, I think we need to. If you go back to the survey results, the top, number one, again, 66% community center, indoor basketball part of that, but Polk Valley, bathrooms, lighting at Polk Valley would be great. My kid plays soccer there, and they had a limit on what they can do because there's no lights. I was just there yesterday for soccer practice and sitting in the parking lot there hanging out with the parents. Every single one of the pickleball courts was used. I think that is a huge advantage to our community. I've been at the dog park, you know, the regulars there. That's really the heart and soul, I feel, in what it brings us together, is our shared resources and recreational facilities and what makes our township special. The rail trail is probably our best. I mean, Polk Valley gets used the most, but the rail trail, without a doubt, connecting our community all the way down through Coopersburg and then ultimately into Quakertown, I just love that thing. And the dog park, you know, unfortunately has to get shut down due to weather conditions and the ground getting wet and saturated. Maybe we could look at installing another dog park at another location for residents to have access as an alternate. Sandra Yerger, wet spots, trail maintenance, a town hall, playground benches, Easton Road ball field bathrooms, pollinator gardens at Kingston, bathroom upgrades again, so bathrooms. That's one of the big things. So I think that should also be a part of what we're looking at as a community to help improve the accessibility at our parks. On the 12th, May, the Environmental Committee, we met, we approved a motion to submit comments to the township for stormwater management, which is the MS4, municipal separate stormwater sewer requirements from the DEP, and we're reviewing some of that internally to make sure that we're in compliance and we're providing the most up-to-date information to our residents regarding rainwater and stormwater management on their properties. The single-use plastic survey, as Laura mentioned, was insightful. I went through, again, and just so everyone out there understands, I did read every single one of your comments. The good and the bad, the hostile, the healthy ones. One of the big things that again, statistically, the lowest number of people that replied to this were the under 35s. So I don't know where you are, the younger generation out there, why you don't want to get involved, or if you maybe didn't even know about this and we have to work on our reach. But most of the people that replied to this were, over 35. So I'd like to get more feedback from the younger generation, which might alter some of the results on this. But when you look at how concerned people are about plastic pollution in our community, that's 85% of the people said that they're concerned about it. How often do you use plastic bags? How often do you use reusable shopping bags? Always, sometimes. That's 47, 35. That's 80%. Or try to use reusable bags. Similar, 80% try to use reusable cups. Overwhelmingly, the 60% of the people would support a ban on single-use plastics versus 40 that were opposed to it. Going through this, then again, if you look at, there were 62 people who wrote about why they would be opposed to it, and 20 of them, a third of the people, used the word "the dump." Okay? The people don't want the dump. We have a huge dump. We have a dump. We have a giant mountain of trash in this township. We have a dump that puts microplastics on our ground. We have a huge dump that you just doubled. Well, we didn't just double it, but I didn't. Not in effect, we have a dump. We literally have a huge dump. Ban the dump. The problem is the dump. So over and over again, you go down through these comments from the community. They're not really. The concern is there about plastics. The support for a ban is there. But I understand and I hear you on how hypocritical it seems to work on plastic bags when we have a mountain of garbage in our neighborhood. A lot of things about reusability, recycling efforts, alternate approaches, education, people that support this who said, you know, in other states or other communities they've lived in where it's been done already, they got used to it and it was acceptable. So a lot of good feedback from the community here. And alternate ways of looking at this as well, where maybe we can look at incentivization or alternatives, where maybe we can help foster in the community, whether it's through education in our school district, whether it's with leading by example in our parks, by having separate recycling containers that we don't necessarily have, collaborative efforts regionally, and other alternatives to look at in this approach. So we appreciate, and I want to thank everybody in the community who took the time to complete this survey. Heritage Day, again, this past Saturday was a success. The weather played nice with us. I saw on one of the Facebook posts, I think from Hellertown Historical Society, that they estimated over 1,000 attendees at both locations. I took the shuttle bus that was going back and forth. There was always people on there getting on and off at both locations. At the Heller Homestead, we had nice reenactors. We had historical presentations. We had students doing little plays and speeches about some of the earliest members of our community, the founding members of our community. Very informative. We had some good music. They even played some Grateful Dead covers, which I thought was awesome. And then down at the Grist Mill, there was a really neat car show, a lot of crafters, lace, blacksmith, woodsmithing, leatherworking. There was music, bluegrass band that was great. They had food trucks. And I just saw so many people out and about in our community. I ran into so many residents. And I think it was a great day for us, Hellertown and Lower Saucon, to be able to come together again and celebrate our past. And with that, then, yesterday was primary election day, and I'd just like to thank the voters who came out and made their voices heard. And the residents that I talked to, I heard you and your feedback, and I will make sure to get some of your comments and suggestions moved through. Upcoming, I'll be at the Parks and Rec on June 1st, the Environmental Committee on June 9th, and the Rail Trail June 22nd. That's all I got for today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chad. I will say it has been a busy month for everybody. Just trying to cover things that haven't already been said, because I've pretty much been with one of you on various different things. But the landfill committee, we did have the DEP come, so I want to thank the DEP for, again, coming to our community and helping to answer questions and provide information about their role in how they oversee the landfill and how they approach various concerns that are raised throughout time, and especially in addressing the different violations that had occurred and the current consent decree that they have with the landfill. So I want to thank them for coming. I want to thank the residents for coming who had brought their questions and concerns, because I think it does show the DEP that we are a caring community. They always highlight that they appreciate our township being very active and collaborative with them in addressing the needs of the community. So I did want to highlight that as far as the landfill committee meeting goes. I did attend the Water Authority meeting yesterday. There will be an upcoming ribbon cutting for the pump station that's on Route 412. Many people know that pump station had been in the works since the giant shopping center opened, and for various reasons, the pump station was finally bid for, and it's a $3 million project. And the Water Authority did an amazing job getting different grants and securing funding through that, and the project was constructed all through last year. They had to do it in conjunction with the Meadows Road opening and the bridge replacement, so that caused additional collaboration with the county. But all said and done, that pumper station is now online, and there will be an opening, and they plan to dedicate it to the longtime former Water Authority manager. So please be on the lookout for that day, because it's a way to thank our Water Authority employees and all of the volunteers on the Water Authority board who had an integral part in getting that done. I also attended the bridge opening for Meadows Bridge, which obviously now brings back some of the concerns with the community just because it hasn't been open for such a long time, and now people are going to have to adjust to that. I do second the idea. Somebody did mention, I don't know if it's possible, but maybe like speed bumps or humps or something, maybe near where the trail crossing is or something. But to the extent that it's a state road, I'm not sure. And if DEP, if DEP has to get, not DEP, but if PennDOT has to get involved, then that always adds another layer.
It's a township road.
Meadows Road. Yeah. So, but I do think we should definitely look into that. Heritage Day was wonderful. I had the opportunity to attend that and assist with the Rail Trail Commission. Big update for Rail Trail that I think, we were really trying to push out for that is that the city of Bethlehem has purchased, and I think this year is constructing the connection to their trail in the city of Bethlehem at the Hellertown end of the rail trail. So next year you should be able to take the rail trail north into the city of Bethlehem, all the way through, and then connect to their Sand Island Park, and then get on the DNL Trail. So it's a big connection that they're going to be filling that gap. So that's another thing. And then finally, I did want to mention a big shout out. We had a number last month. We did resolutions for our police and our public works, and we did just celebrate those weeks. Big shout out to our police and public works on those weeks. There was a lot of great sharing of information during both of those things. And thank you to the community for supporting the police in all that they do. For public works especially, it just came out today that the township was awarded $385,000 in change to help support the project of the Public Works Garage expansion. So if that's a huge thing, I think we did that in 2025.
Say they support, we got that?
Yes, we got $385,000 in change from Senator Lisa Boscola's share grant. It just came out today, the casino share grant that the state legislators get.
How much money is that?
$385,000
for the garage?
For the
Oh,
garage, that's
wonderful.
correct. It's like unchanged. I can't remember the dollars after the 5,000 part, but we were the second largest grant total that was received from all the municipalities in Senator Boscola's municipalities. And the
so
individual single largest grant figure that she gave. So I want to say thank you to her, but also to our staff, Patty and everybody else that was involved in making sure that we connected and really tried to get as much money that we could to help us fund that. The Public Works building is very, very much in need of this upgrade. Long overdue. We've added Public Works employees, and their facilities are nowhere near in the condition that you would expect them to have, especially when they're out doing all of the work for us, and I'm sure out tonight dealing with different things. But they deserve to have a place that's equal to what our police have, and so this is a long way forward in that. But I want to thank the staff for that wonderful thing. So, and Senator Boscola. So that's all that I have. I will move on to staff reports. I will say there is on the agenda a report from our acting township manager. He is not here tonight, so I'm gonna table that unless the solicitor has something that he can share. But it's related to different guidelines for share grants and applying for those. I have checked with Patty Coronia, our finance director, and she assures me that we can still address those things next month in time to make our applications for next year. And those are the grants that, the share grants, which is what helped fund our Public Works Department. So I'm gonna leave that to Jay next month. Solicitor, do you have?
I do not.
Okay, our engineer is not here, so any longer. So without any other staff reports, I will move to adjourn.
Oh, wait, pardon me. We had talked about before we adjourn, the promulgation. I apologize.
I withdraw my motion.
Yes, please. We would need a motion to adopt the promulgation of under resolution number 54-206. I think we didn't formally do that.
Oh.
What is that for?
For the emergency plan.
Oh, okay.
For the what?
What?
Can't read it.
Part of the EOA?
The emergency.
Oh, part of the EOA.
Oh, it's the emergency operation plan. We didn't formally adopt that's the promulgation. So I'll entertain a motion to adopt the promulgation for the emergency operation plan. Resolution number that goes along with resolution number 54-2026. Is there a motion for that?
I will make the motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Gress?
Yes.
Ms. Optoff Cordero?
Yes.
Mr. Heimbecker?
Aye.
Ms. De Leon?
Yes.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Now we can entertain the motion.
Okay, so now I will move to adjourn tonight's meeting. The next meeting, upcoming Planning Commission, May, just for everybody's benefit, that is canceled. And please check our agenda for the upcoming meetings moving forward, and we will see you in June.
Get home safe, everybody.
Mom and Dad, I said hi and enjoy Memorial Day weekend.
All right, I'm adjourning.
Rain.